It was a Saturday morning like any other in May of 2012. I walked into my local bank in Denver, Colorado, just to deposit a check. The sun was shining, people were going about their business, and everything seemed normal. But as I made my way toward the line, something strange happened. My vision blurred, the room started to spin, and before I could make sense of it, I collapsed. The next thing I knew, everything went black. My wife, Emily, later told me about the call she received that morning. She was at home with our 2 kids when the phone rang. "Is this Mrs. Carter?" the voice on the other end asked. "Yes, this is she," Emily replied. "Is your husband Matthew Carter?" "Yes. What's going on? Does he have any health problems? Why? What's happening? Don't ask any questions. Does he have any health problems?" Emily was frantic. "Not that I know of. Please, what's happening?" "Well, he collapsed at the bank. We have paramedics here working on him." Emily's heart dropped. She didn't know if I was alive or dead. All the struggles we had faced in our marriage seemed so insignificant in that moment. She raced to the hospital, praying all the way there that I would survive. Our marriage hadn't been an easy one, not by a long shot. We met in college and got married while we were still students. It all happened so fast. One day we were dating, and before we knew it, we were planning a wedding. But there was a part of my life I kept hidden from Emily, a darkness that I thought I could control, at least long enough to win her over. For a while, I managed to keep my demons at bay. I stopped doing drugs, cut back on the drinking, and even convinced myself that I could be the husband she deserved. But it didn't last. I fell back into old habits, and before long, I was spiraling out of control. The drugs, the alcohol, the infidelity, it all came rushing back like a flood, and I was drowning in it. I started cheating on Emily just months after we got married. I thought I could keep it a secret, but it wasn't long before she found out. The look on her face when I confessed to wanting a divorce, it broke her. She was devastated, and rightfully so. I had betrayed her in the worst possible way. "I just felt sick," she told me later. 6 months into our marriage, and you were already talking about divorce. I didn't know how to handle it. We separated. Emily left school and moved back in with her parents. She was broken, but in that brokenness, she found something I had long since lost: her relationship with Jesus. She forgave me, even when I didn't deserve it, and she started praying for me. She prayed that I would find my way back to Christ, that I would be the man she knew I could be. She refused to give up on our marriage, even when I had. "I felt like God was telling me not to give up on you," she said. So I didn't. I prayed, my family prayed, and we leaned on God for strength. 2 years passed before we finally agreed to give our marriage another shot. We had our first child not long after, and I thought maybe, just maybe, I could turn things around. But the darkness inside me wasn't gone. It still lingered, haunting me, tormenting me in ways I couldn't escape. One night, I had a dream that shook me to my core. In this dream, I was in a dark, filthy place, mud and muck everywhere, with dirty water rushing around me. I was rolling in it, suffocating in it, and something grabbed me, pulling me down under the water. I was drowning, and I couldn't break free. I knew that dream wasn't just a dream, it was a warning. I woke up in a cold sweat and shook Emily awake. She could see the fear in my eyes. "Do you want to say the sinner's prayer?" she asked me. "Are you finally ready to give your heart to the Lord?" And for the first time in my life, I was ready. I got down on my knees and begged God for forgiveness, for all the lies, the cheating, the self-destruction. I gave my life to Christ that night, and for a while, things started to change. I started taking my family to church, trying to be the husband and father they needed me to be. But the battle wasn't over. I had so much anger inside, so much unresolved pain. The internal conflict I was going through often came out as rage, and it caused more fights than I care to remember. I was trying, but it felt like I was losing the fight against my own demons. Then came that Saturday morning at the bank. I had no idea what was about to happen, but God did. I was just 38 years old, seemingly healthy, when I collapsed from a massive heart attack. By the time I hit the floor, I was already dead. Time was running out, but God had other plans. As it happened, paramedics were just a block away. They reached me within 2 minutes and worked furiously to bring me back. Somehow, they managed to get a heartbeat. The doctors later told me I had suffered what's known as a widowmaker heart attack. Only 4% of people survive it. There was no reason for me to still be alive, but I was. Emily told me later, there's no denying that God choreographed your survival. Every detail, every second, it was all in his hands. He saved you for a reason. I spent only a few days in the hospital, but when I came home, I wasn't the same person. How could I be? I had died, and God brought me back. Suddenly, all the things that had once consumed me seemed so meaningless. My family, my wife, and Christ, that's all that mattered. When you die and come back, I often say, you see life differently. You realize what's truly important. I became a better father, a better husband, and more importantly, a follower of Christ. Living my life for Christ has allowed me to become the man I should have been all along. It's not about whether I deserve it. I don't. It's about His grace, His gift, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever known. Emily often tears up when she talks about the change she's seen in me. He's really come full circle, she says, her voice filled with gratitude, and I'm so thankful for that. Matthew's journey is a powerful reminder that no matter how far we've fallen, God's grace can lift us up. If this story has touched your heart, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Join our community of believers who have experienced the transformative power of faith. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story of hope and redemption. Together, let's spread the message that it's never too late to find your way back to the light. Subscribe now and be part of this incredible journey.